經過今年嘅 W-Series 賽季之後，我好榮幸能夠再次請到 W-Series 車手 Sarah Moore 同我傾下今年嘅 W-Series 賽季。希望各位能夠支持下 Sarah 喺唔同嘅社交平台 follow 佢。如果各位中意呢條片嘅話，可以撳埋 subscribe 同埋 follow 我嘅 Instagram。多謝各位。
Let's talk about your year in W-Series. It was a year full of new experiences, and it must have been a season of highs and lows for you. A lot happened in just 4 months, but we'll talk about that in detail later. First, let's talk about the overall result of the season. Before the season started, your goal was to get P5 in the championship. After 8 races and stepping onto the podium, you ended up P5 in the championship. Congratulations on the great result you have achieved. Are you happy with your performance and results this year?
Thank you. Yes, I think, like you said, there's been highs and lows this year, that's for sure. Obviously started off the year really well with the podium at the first weekend. And after the lows of the year, I think to still come away with a P5 finish, which is what I targeted at the start of the year, with everything, I think I couldn't have asked for much more.
Before the season, we also talked about which track you look forward to racing at. And you said it was the Circuit of the Americas. And in a turn of events, you end up racing there twice. Was the track what you expected, or did the bumps and curves made it more difficult and more physically demanding?
I think the track and the atmosphere was a lot better than what I expected, actually. I enjoyed the circuit, practicing on the simulator at home, and I kind of thought it would suit my driving style. But yeah, the bumps definitely caught a lot of people out, I think. You don't feel the bumps on the simulator. So yeah, to actually get to do that in real life, yeah, it was totally different to the simulator. But yeah, it's for me, yeah, I absolutely loved America.
Yeah. Other than COTA, you had chances to race at other new race tracks this year as well, like Zandvoort and Hungaroring. Did you enjoy these new experiences?
Yeah, I enjoyed all the tracks. It's always nice to experience new tracks from a driver's point of view. It's another box ticked to say that you've been to another circuit. I think the circuit that I probably enjoyed the least was probably Hungary. I just could not get on with that circuit at all. I don't, I can't even pinpoint exactly what it was. I don't know what the issue was, but I just got that weekend out of the way and totally forgot about it. But yeah, that was probably my least enjoyable circuit, to be fair. But other than that, it was still nice to, like you say, tick off another box off in terms of a new circuit. And I'd still love to go back there, and hopefully, if I do get to go back there, I'll hopefully get it right.
A sort of redemption, I guess.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your least favorite track is Hungaroring. So you visited 6 tracks this year with W-Series. Which one would you say you enjoyed the most?
I think it's still got to be COTA for me. The atmosphere, just everything about it. Yeah, I absolutely loved it.
Yeah. It was a new experience for you to travel out of Europe to a different continent to race as well in a new environment. Did you enjoy that? Like the change of scenery?
Yeah, I mean, it was quite stressful with all of the COVID restrictions that were still in place. Hopefully next year it will be a little bit easier. But yeah, it was still nice to, again, see new tracks and see new places is always nice. Unfortunately, because of the COVID restrictions, we didn't really get much time to go and see any places. But yeah, again, it's nice to still do a little bit of traveling.
Yeah, is it different racing just in Europe or racing in America? Do you see any difference between these experiences?
From a racing driver's perspective this year, for me, I would say no, because like I said, we didn't really get to experience anything other than traveling obviously to the country, staying in the hotel, going to the racetrack and traveling back home. That's pretty much all we've done all of this year, because we couldn't take too many risks because of COVID. So yeah, we didn't really get to see much in the different countries, but I mean, America was, a little bit looser in terms of the COVID guidelines. So to be fair, we did get to meet some of the Americans when we were over there, which was quite cool because, the Americans are a lot more chilled out than we are in the UK. So yeah, I love the Americans.
All right, I guess you're looking forward to going back next year.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm really,
Yeah.
really hoping to go back next year. Yeah.
All right. So one of the biggest moments in this W Series season happened in Belgium on Spa-Francorchamps. There was a big accident at Radion, and you were unfortunately involved. It was very lucky that no one got seriously injured. Could you talk us through your experience?
Yeah. I think for most people involved in that crash, it was probably the biggest crash of all of our careers, or most of us anyway. So yeah, it was a big crash, unfortunately. Yeah, it was in qualifying at Spa. I was the first one out of the pit lane, so and the weather was kind of questionable. We thought that rain was on the way, and I was just exiting the chicane, and the rain, I could just see the rain, like raindrops on my visor. So I thought, as my engineer came over the radio saying, you've got to try and get a push lap this lap, because we think it's going to rain. He said exactly what I was thinking at that point. So obviously I was the first one to attack Bradillion and Eau Rouge. And I didn't go 100% because I knew that my tires weren't up to temp, because we hadn't had enough laps and the temperature was way, way too cold. But I knew that I had to do some kind of push. But yeah, I caught the curb just at the bottom of Radillion. And I think, I mean, we still don't know to this day exactly what the cause was, but I think there must have still been some water in the curb at the bottom. And I think that's what, as soon as I loaded it to go up the hill, I think that's what caused the spin. And obviously there was 4 other cars that span and did the exact same thing as me, and ended up going off in the same direction, unfortunately. So yeah, it didn't end the best way, but like you say, it's just fortunate that all the drivers came out of that okay.
All right. So during the moment of like the crash, do you remember anything at all, or it's just a flash that everything just went by?
I remember obviously the spin, and then my initial thought was, I'm the first one here, everyone is following me. So I knew that everyone was coming, and after I'd obviously hit the tires, to be honest, in that moment I thought, I don't really want to see what's coming, so I closed my eyes in that moment until it had gone silent. And then once everything had kind of gone silent again, I opened my eyes, and I think the hardest thing for me in that moment, obviously I saw Beitske, who had rolled and she'd landed on a side, but other than Beitske, the first thing I actually saw was the flowers that had been laid down for Antoine. And I think in that moment I was just so thankful that I was still alive and in one piece, and it was just a case of getting out of the car and making sure everyone else was okay. So yeah, it was quite a lot of emotions in such a short period of time.
Yeah, it was a scary moment for the drivers, and it was a scary moment for people watching in front of the television as well. And we're just very glad that nothing serious happened, and yeah, everyone got out safely. Now, as we talked about before, even you had some lows throughout the campaign, your performance was still able to secure P5 in the championship, which means that you are automatically qualified for W-Series next season. Could you tell me a bit about your plans next season? Will there be other plans than W-Series?
At the moment, it's just going to be the W-Series. There is potential of something else, but that's not been 100% finalized yet. We're just waiting to see what happens with that. But yeah, the W-Series is 100% for next year. I think after this year, I've got unfinished business. So I think the right thing to do would be to go back and try and do what I feel I should have achieved this year.
All right. So now the season is over. What are your plans during this off season?
Well, as most people know, I've got a wedding coming up in January. So yeah, at the moment I'm very busy with wedding planning, which is keeping me extremely busy and on my toes, and very, very stressed actually.
More stressful than a race, would you say?
Do this once. But yeah, I'm very busy with that at the moment. But other than that, it's just getting myself fitter and stronger, ready for next season, really.
All right. So thank you for talking with me again, and congratulations on your great results again, and enjoy Christmas and enjoy these off season, and of course enjoy your wedding.
Thank you very much.
I can't wait to see you back on track next year.
Cool. Thank you very much.
All right. Take care. Goodbye.
you. Bye bye.